As a child, I learned about tithing. The church I grew up in was really keen on their interpretation about biblical directions for tithing. We had little envelopes for Sunday school that we would check the box if we had studied our lesson, if we had brought our Bible, how many people we had contacted, which meant invited to come to church with us, and the amount of our tithe. We were well trained in doing church. I did check all those boxes. And we even had something called church training. And I never missed a day of church training. I tithed on my allowance. When I was old enough to babysit at the going rate of $1 an hour, I would put 10 cents in the offering for each dollar I made. As I got older, I worked in a coffee shop and then Taco Bell and other after-school jobs, and I would always tithe after getting paid, and I carried this practice into adulthood. About 20 years ago, I was starting over financially, living in a small house with my 2 middle school children. We had precisely what we needed, nothing more. We had 3 forks, and if someone brought a friend home for dinner, well, they would have to give up their fork. One evening, I had made spaghetti for dinner, and having drained the cooked noodles in a colander, I realized I did not have a spaghetti server with the prongs there. Yes. And I was in a real dilemma as to how to get the noodles from the colander onto 3 plates. I had previously owned a sterling silver spaghetti server, but I had no such thing now, and I was in a real quandary as to how to serve up these noodles. Well, before dinner got cold, I puzzled it out that I had 3 forks, and I could use 2 of those to just like stab the noodles and put them on the plate. And so fortunately, we were able to eat our dinner without a spaghetti server. And I was laughing about this with a friend of mine, but also been bemoaning my financial situation somewhat. I said to her, I don't think I can afford to tithe right now. I'm too strapped. My friend who attended this church at the time said, oh no, Sharilyn, you can always have something that you can give. You can't outgive God. Be faithful, and you will have everything you need. And I knew she was right. I had never in my life been paid and not shown my gratitude by giving back something. So I decided to give what I was able to give in that moment. In the next week or so, my children and I were raking leaves in the yard, in the tiny yard of our tiny rental house, and my rake swept across something that stuck to it, and I was trying to pick up my rake, and I bent down, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I had raked up a black plastic spaghetti server in my yard. Well, I was inspired. I said, keep raking, kids. We also need a dishwasher. So, didn't get the dishwasher. But I still use that spaghetti server today. The only one I have, the only one I need. My friend was right. You can't outgive God. And I am so fortunate to have all of my needs met, and today I have more than I need. At this church, we have multiple ways to give, not just from our paychecks, but to serve our community where so many people are in need. I have been able to participate in providing meals and bringing food for the pantry and contributing to the ministry of the month. Last week, we had an opportunity to show our college students some love with our Valentine collection. I did much of my Christmas shopping at the Bazaar Crawl, where our 4 churches collected thousands of dollars to minister to our community. Not all giving costs money. I'm grateful for the opportunity to sing alongside Randy on occasion at our church picnics. I'm grateful for a group of fellowship who gave up a Sunday afternoon to collect trash that had been carelessly tossed out on the roadway. Of course, we need those monthly or weekly checks to be able to pay salaries and maintain a building. But this church honors every contribution, not just checking the tithe boxes on the envelope, but all of us working together, giving what we have at the moment, serving God and serving others.